Hello, hello. Welcome to BS Session 10.
Why do we always come here?
I guess we'll never know.
But it's kind of like torture
to have to watch this show.
This right here has the ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
You're listening to your weekly dose of BS, Ballistically Speaking. The Ballistically Speaking Podcast.
I wonder how many of our audience will actually get that reference.
If I'm being honest with you, Kurt, I don't get that reference.
What?
No, tell me about it. No, what is it?
It's that it was a speaker over somewhere in the States. They were obviously talking some anti-gun stuff, and he grabbed a AR-15 type thing, and he says, "This is a 30 caliber that shoots a 30 caliber clip."
Oh no, that one I get. Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah, that was a senator.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking
was
about
great.
our intro poem or whatever that was.
That was the Muppet Show. Come
Is
on.
that what that was? So we're the two old guys up in
Right.
Okay.
See, at least you know that.
Well, I mean, I watched the Muppet Show, but I was pretty young.
Why do we always come here? I guess we'll never know. You know?
Oh, well, why didn't we sing it? I would have got that.
Well, yeah, I know. I expected more zeal from you.
Oh,
we should have rehearsed that, actually.
Do you want to do it again?
It could have been more better.
Let's do it again.
No. All right, folks, we're happy to bring you to tonight's show, the one and only YouTube sensation, Alex, with affordable optics and rifle reviews. How you doing, Alex?
I'm pretty good, guys. Thanks for having me.
You betcha.
It is our pleasure.
Yes. Should we jump right in?
Well, before we do that, let's let everybody know who's writing in the comments right now that we can't tell what you're doing because this episode is pre-recorded. And
this is true.
This episode is pre-recorded because this Friday I'll be somewhere, I guess, slightly north of Nashville, Tennessee on the highway, on the interstate. So we're pre-recording tonight.
And because of that, I'm taking advantage of the fact that Kris is away and I won't have any podcast duties. So I will be drunk in my backyard.
At least you didn't say in your bathtub.
It may end up there. Who's to tell?
Yeah. Well, just careful when you're filling the water, okay?
That's right.
Your head should stay above the water line if at all possible.
Noted.
Noted.
Geez. Okay.
I tell you what. Thought.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Sound good? All right, everybody. First off, our sponsors for this evening, Odell Engineering, the geniuses behind the Canuck line of firearms.
I get it. Give me a minute.
Odell Engineering is your premium importer and distributor of some of Canada's top brands of firearms, including Bergera. I can't see what he's doing because I'm reading the show notes.
That's okay. You could only hear it. I was just making a mess of stuff. Carry on. I'm sorry.
All right. Bergera, Rock Island Armory, Mission First Tactical, Hyperfire, and of course, the Made for Canada Canuck Firearms. Find their products and supporting dealer at OdellEngineeringLTD.com, on Facebook at Odell Engineering Limited, or walk into your local gun store and tell them Phil sent you.
We are also brought to you by Apex Optics, designed in Canada, built in Japan. Apex Optics are made with premium ED glass, resulting in the best optical system that money can buy. The rival 4-32 competition rifle scope features super positive clicks, a 2-turn indicator, 0 stop, and one of the most thoroughly thought out reticles in the industry. When you buy Apex, precision comes standard. Find them at apexoptics.co.
When you buy Apex, we may get language lessons. No? Reading lessons?
I'm just thinking,
lessons.
I'm just thinking as somebody who's started to foray into the pre-recorded PewTube land. I'm starting to understand the difference between live and
Right.
and edited.
Yeah. Let's do that again. Let's sing it this time.
I guess you'll never know.
All right. Among the rest of our sponsors are EM Precision Rifles in Leduc, Alberta, bringing Canada's finest precision rifles, building Canada's finest precision rifles. Let's do that
too.
Commission a build today at emprifles.ca.
And Bolt Action Coffee, bringing specialty coffee to the precision shooting world. Order coffee and merchandise at boltactioncoffee.com.
And Callsign 66, welcome to the Brotherhood. Book a course with them now at callsign66.ca.
And Ribstone Gunsmithing, craftsmanship done right. Contact Oscar at ribstonegunsmithing.ca and breathe life back into any firearm.
And finally, March Scopes Canada. The Dion Optical Design line of rifle scopes has a scope for all your hunting and shooting needs. Find Doug and Nisa at marchscopes.ca.
We made it. We made it through.
It's almost record time, I think. We say that occasionally, don't we?
You guys have a lot of sponsors. Gosh.
We do.
We have a few.
I don't have one.
Not even one?
No.
Man. Come on, sponsors.
Hey, you know what? We can be your sponsor. I'm not sure what we have to offer you.
Yeah, if you ever feel the urge to take a drink, you just give us a call.
Oh, okay.
Wrong
I was going to
If we
catch
ever
on to
need
that.
a sanity check, like, geez, I think I'm going crazy. You know what? I'm going to call the guys at Ballistically Speaking just to reaffirm that I'm not so much of a fucking loon.
Loon? So, Alex, we've been I don't know, Kurt, have you been watching Affordable Optics? I've been following Affordable Optics since before we even did this podcast. So
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're where I got the idea to contact Alex. I've seen some of his stuff, but of course it's during the day when I'm sitting at my desk when I really should be doing constructive construction stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Okay, good. Yeah, get through half of it. Oh, there's someone here needing me to do some work. And
So, on that note, since you guys are familiar with the channel,
Mhm.
I'm going to call you out. You have to tell me, what is your favorite video?
Oh, that's a good
You-
question.
You know what? Okay, so I've been somewhat interested in those Arkin scopes.
Okay.
For a while, and I got a little bit. I got like honestly halfway through the video, and it answered some questions that I had. But for a what is it, a $500 or $600 scope? It looks pretty damn good.
In Canadian dollars, the SH4 is about $700.
Oh, is that okay?
And so in US, most of the time I'm dealing with US prices anyway. But
Right.
the EP5 hasn't even really made it to Canada yet.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, there's seems to be a fair few of the EP4s or whatever, or SH4s. I can't remember which.
yeah, SH4 is their base model.
Okay. The reason I'm thinking about that one is like rimfire stuff. A lot of guys go with that the Vortex. What is it?
Venom or Strike Eagle?
Not the Strike Eagle or the Venom.
The
come on.
Diamondback Tactical.
That's it. The 4-16 Diamondback Tactical is very popular in rimfire, and I just looked at that Arkin as a kind of an alternative to that. But I don't know. I've never known anybody that has had one.
Yep.
So at least your video with that one gave me some reference.
Where did you get that, by the way? Like, because you said you don't even have any sponsors. Like, you feature some pretty stellar gear for not having any sponsors.
So what are we defining as sponsors? Are we just defining as the product was provided for review, or as they are paying for a video?
Well, for us, it's a mixture. I mean,
broad stroke or broad scope.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of the optics are provided for review.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess in that context, and in some way, I would be sponsored.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's good.
That makes sense. That
At
makes
least it
sense.
doesn't all have to come out of pocket, all of it.
A lot of my videos, like all my rifle reviews, 100%
Right.
no sponsor. Well, no sponsors for the rifle. Like
Right.
I'll work with companies to promote optics, but
Mhm.
the problem is, so when I reach out to a company in the States, like pretty much any company,
Mhm.
I've reached out to many, and like I'll show them my channel. I'm like, hey, can you send me XYZ rifle for review? Yeah,
Mhm.
no problem. What's your nearest FFL? And I'm like, oh,
Oh, that.
My nearest FFL is probably Buffalo, New York.
Right.
yeah. So then, like I'd say about 95% of the time when I say, listen, I'm in Canada. Do you have like one of your distributors in Canada? Could maybe get one sent over. 95% of the time, they just ghost me. They're like never to be heard of again.
No
Really?
kidding, yeah.
And
Wow.
One of
5%
those
of the
guys.
time, they're like, yeah, it's too much of a hassle. Never mind. Forget it. And 1% of the time, which is still ongoing since last year, I want to say in May, I follow up every month. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Just following up. Any update on getting that rifle over? And they're like, oh, we're just working on it. Well, working on it since May of 2021.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super busy anyway. I got tons of, even if I did like 2 videos every week, I'd never have a shortage. So
Oh,
yeah.
is that right? That's
Well,
all right.
I think the unfortunate part about being a Canadian YouTuber is that there's a broader audience in the state of Maine than there is in the entirety of Canada.
Yeah.
Well,
Which is-
luckily for us, though, I mean, YouTube goes worldwide, so it finds the viewers
Yeah.
wherever they are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, the problem is you need the equipment to review.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had asked the question. I didn't answer immediately. I was starting to think, but of your more recent ones, I actually I was really interested in your Black Creek Labs tour.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't even know they were in Peterborough.
Yeah, there's Savage Arms, there's the Lakefield plant, and
Really?
there's
They're there
also
too?
Black Creek. Yeah, they're like I think about 15 to 20 minutes away. So
I had no idea.
I kind of wanted to figure out like why are these gun companies here? And I think it's like the presence of raw materials and like just it's a big kind of industrial. Well, there's a lot of industrial kind of sector there, I guess.
Yeah,
That's kind of
Peterborough's
what I
kind of
understood.
an industrial town, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah,
That's
I
pretty cool.
honestly, I think some of the most fun videos are the factory tours. Not that they perform that well on YouTube. People care more about, I want to buy this rifle. Is it good or is it crap? That's like 99% of what people care about. They don't care about like, well, how is a rifle made? How is a premium rifle made? Or
right.
like they don't seem to like, yeah, I mean, I think it's probably more interesting. Every time I go, I'm like, I thought I knew a lot. It turns out I knew next to nothing.
Well, it's just really interesting when you get to actually see them being made.
Yeah.
You know, like you basically said that, but
All right, you guys did good. You guys know the videos.
I only know very few. I gotta be honest.
Well, we asked you off air, but I can't remember what your answer was. How long have you been running Affordable Optics on YouTube?
Since mid-year of 2018, so 4 years now.
4 years. You're doing pretty damn good with it. I mean, you've got over 30,000 subscribers.
I mean, as for subscriber count, I'd say I'm doing pretty good, but subscribers is more of a kind of smoke and mirrors. It's a way to, I'd say it's a way that companies look at you and go, wow, he's got 30,000, but really it means very little. Like back when I was at 12,000, which was I think last year, mid to beginning of the year, I was getting the same amount of, let's say, monthly or daily views as pretty much I do now. So it doesn't mean all that much, the amount of subscribers.
Isn't that interesting? Your views haven't gone up, but your subscriber base has more than doubled.
Yeah.
Well, partially due to right now I'm doing a lot of scope videos, and then I was doing a lot of rifle videos. And the rifle videos are really probably the biggest traffic on the channel.
The rifles.
Yeah. that and rifle comparison reviews, and some Vortex scope reviews. For everybody loves Vortex.
Hey,
Of course,
absolutely.
yeah.
It's pretty hard to go wrong there.
Well, and you have to wonder how much of the algorithm not showing you to people plays a part in that too. Because, for example, I just started. I just went on your channel here a minute ago and started scrolling through some of your more recent videos. I had no idea that you toured the KDEX factory. You've got 3 friggin' videos on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a big. It was a whole day tour. It was
YouTube
awesome.
had never shown that to me before.
Yeah, because the way they see it is, let's say you're a subscriber and you hit the notification bell.
Yeah.
They're going to show it to, let's say, 10. And you know what? Let's say they're going to show the thumbnail. And if you scroll over, well, out of those 10, if only one person clicked, they're going to show it to a few more. And if it doesn't, if people don't start clicking on the thumbnails and don't start watching factory tours, all right, they're going to let that video die. For example, those videos, actually almost each and every one of them is about 4,000 views, and they don't climb all that much per day. For example, part 3 is about 26 views every 48 hours. So it's got a limited exposure rating.
Yeah. Isn't that weird, hey? Yeah. If you were to ask me beforehand without telling us, what do I think people would like more? The versus or the is this a good thing or not, or a factory tour, how it's made, basically. I totally would have guessed the how it's made.
Yeah.
But then I'm looking at this here, like you said, you've got about 4,000, little over 4,000 on 2 of them and about 4,000 on 1 of them for the KDEX factory tour. But right next to that, you got the Remington 700 versus the Ruger American Predator, and it has over 10,000 views more.
Yeah. So I don't think that one's even doing all that. Or 10,000 views total, or 10,000?
It's got 14,000 views total, 10,000 more than any of the other KDEX factory tour. In fact, all 3 KDEX factory tour videos, you put them together, you had about 12,000 views. That's still 2,000 less than just a Remington versus a Ruger American.
Yeah, and even that isn't that great of a comparison video. The video didn't get a ton of views. For example, if we look at Ruger Precision Rifle versus Bergara B14 HMR, 88,000 views. Or Savage versus the Ruger Precision Rifle, almost 100,000 views.
Yeah. You gotta pick the sexy ones, hey?
Well, I think it's the Ruger Precision Rifle. It's a good rifle, and almost every review is basically going to say that. The Savage 110 Precision, also good rifle. I mean, the actions are a little, leave some to be desired, but other than that, they're also good rifles. So if you look at a review, good rifle, another review, good rifle, you're left still not knowing what you want to buy. So that's why I think the ultimate value is comparable products, this one versus that one. And, well, why?
Well, right. And how do you set the criteria? Because there's such a wide berth of shooters and what they like, what they think they prefer, what they're looking for in a rifle too, right?
Yeah.
And it's got to be tough to actually make that decision. Well, this one's better than this one, but I guess
it comes down to, I guess, a certain amount of features and just highlighting the things that I find are more desirable on one or on the other. Like the Ruger RPR, it's got a foldable stock. That's something you typically don't see on a rifle that's I guess less than 2,500 or so. I mean, there's the Tika Take one, which is about 3,000 now.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time thinking of any other kind of precision rifle that has a foldable stock.
Precision. Well, I mean, they say the Sig Cross is a precision rifle.
From the reviews, it seems like that one isn't it's getting 2-inch groups, 1.5 at best.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely not a precision rifle, not with the factory barrel.
But they were saying it's a hunting rifle to begin with. But that's why they came out just recently with this Sig Cross Precision. So I guess same action, just chunkier barrel.
Yeah. Now, see, originally when they brought it out, they said hunting / precision rifle, and now they've kind of separated them, especially now they have their precision version of it. But I will say this: you put an IBI barrel on one of those things, and it's pretty damn good.
But then an IBI barrel, what are they? $800?
Oh no, it's carbon fiber barrel that I put on mine. So it's $1,000 barrel.
Well, then you have a $2,000 gun with $1,000 barrel. You're at $3,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
was it worth it? I don't know.
Well, because I spent the money, I'm going to say yes.
Oh, you've already done this. I thought this was a plan or a hypothetical.
Oh, no.
Okay, yeah, it's a great
No.
idea.
In fact,
Right.
it's a great idea.
So how did it improve it, Kris?
Well, with the factory,
Yeah.
I'm going to try and do this so that I'm not breaking.
Sorry, never mind. I was going to say in a live, you can't bring out a firearm or YouTube will like axe the video mid.
Oh yeah, no, they do. Yeah, they've done it to us before, and I still give zero fucks. Yeah. Anyway,
Alex is like, whoa.
What's
Stop
going
it, guys.
on
Put it down.
So you can see it's got the carbon fiber on there. But
Yeah.
So it came with this. This is the 308. It came with a 16-inch steel barrel, and the best I could get out of it was a 1 1/4 inch groups. Now that is understanding
It's not
that
horrible.
no, it's not horrible.
Yeah.
Is that after load development or is that just with factory ammunition?
That's after load development. That's with 168 grain ELDMs, with Varget powder, Winchester primers, and BR4. Did I say primer? Powder?
You already mentioned powder. You're using Varget. BR4,
Varget,
is that
yeah.
the small rifle
Yeah.
primer?
BR2s, you mean?
Yeah, BR2.
Yeah, they have the 200, and then they have is it the 2? It's right here.
Yes. The 200.
Yeah, BR2. I'm sorry. It is the BR2. I'm on the drugs. Yeah. and the best I could get out of a 168 grain ELDM was about 1 1/4.
And is that like consistently all the time, or is that like best
that was
group
over a
out of like
period of
5?
about a year. I was like the best group I could ever get was about an 1 1/4 inch. Like there were many times I was getting like 1.5 inches, give or take, thereabouts. And if I was using like bad ammo, like if I like picked up a box of herders from Cabela's or something like that, we're not talking very good groups. We're talking like 2.5, 3 inch groups.
Yeah.
And man, like I put some Austrian surplus in it one time, and that's not even worth talking about because like I was barely hitting paper with it. Like it was just ridiculous. But with this barrel, so with those exact same 168 grain ELDMs, I'm looking at like I haven't done as much testing with this one. Like I only put this barrel on. When did we put this on, Kurt? Like,
Oh boy, was
March?
that back in No,
It
that
was
was
springtime.
back in January, wasn't it? When we went down to LRSS, the rimfire match there.
that wasn't in January, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. You
No,
betcha.
no. SHOT Show was in January. This is like February or March, late February or early March, something like that.
Oh, sorry, Yenzi and I went down to that one. Yes. Yeah. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like basically since March, let's say, I've had this barrel on here. So I haven't tested it near as much, but usually somewhere in like 3/4 inch groups, give or take. I started testing some 200 grain ELDMs or ELDX, sorry, which is like a fun hunting thing I'm trying out. Because for whatever reason, out of this 18-inch barrel, I'm still getting over 2,400 feet per second out of a 200 grain ELDX.
Cool.
You're not getting any like primers that are like overpressured?
No, I'm not punching any primers. I'm not blowing any pockets out. Now, one time, yes, but that was because I had
there we go.
No. It was my fault with reloading.
One time.
It was my fault with reloading. I had just reloaded a whole bunch of ELDMs, and I use 45 grains of Varget in this 168 grain ELDM.
Yeah.
And then right after that, I was loading the 200 grains.
Oh yeah.
And like a moron, I put 45 grains of Varget. I'm only supposed to put 42 for the 200 grain. And that's like like the max load that they even they tell you that's max load according to the book. And with 42 grains, I'm getting a little over 2,400 feet per second. And the best group I've ever gotten is about a quarter of an inch, which is like, for me, is phenomenally well, because I'm not the best shooter out there to begin with.
That's good for anyone, Kris, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But so the one time I put the 45 grains in there, it was when we were out at Consort. And I just took a confirmation shot at 100 meters and had a case head separation, and we had difficulty getting the brass out of the chamber, and like it was just like blown right into the chamber wall.
So how do you trust your next shots if so you reloaded a batch that night, your first shot is like case head separation, then you get it out and you're like, all right, let's send the rest of them. I'm pretty sure they're good.
That was one of those, hey, Kurt, come here for a second.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't send any more. Yeah. I was glad that I had reloaded a bunch of the ELDMs, because I just shot the ELDMs for the rest of the time. And then I realized, what was it, Kurt? Like 2 days later, I messaged you.
Yeah.
And I said that I realized that I had put 45 grains in instead of 42. So I ended up.
I'm no mathematician, but
3 grains of more powder makes a big difference sometimes. I had made 100 rounds for that weekend specifically. So I ended up pulling 99 bullets, remeasuring all the powder and redoing them. And now they all shoot great again. But there was that one time it didn't work out so well.
That's too funny.
But anyway, were making a point a very long time ago, and I really derailed us, but it does have a collapsible stock. But
and that one's $2,100, but still not considered, I guess, a precision rifle. I still want one, but I mean, I'm kind of like on the I'm waiting for a deal to come on Gunpost, because that's where I buy most of my rifles, and I kind of don't feel like paying tax. I mean, although it's a business expense, still
for
I
sure.
don't feel like,
I don't blame you at all. But I also don't blame you for wanting one. It is I do very much like it. That being said, this is way too light to be a precision rifle, no matter how accurate it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like you'll remember, Kurt, like it bounces off the table. You put it on a concrete table with the bipod and it just bounces right off.
Right.
There's no way you can follow your shot with it.
No. Not unless you're an exceptionally good shooter, and even at that, with if you have excellent recoil control, you're still it's a challenge. Yeah.
You know what? Like I love shooting it like offhand, seated, unsupported. I love shooting it in unsupported positions, because recoil management is a lot easier when it's not being, the weight of it is not being supported, right? But as a bench gun, it's really not that amazing. It's not even all that fun. Like I'd rather shoot my Remington 700 off of a bench than this thing.
Even so, like shooting that thing offhand or from a seated position or kneeling or something like that, I've always had trouble. This is me personally. I've always had trouble with light guns shooting like that as well. I need something with some weight, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm just waving around like this, figure eights all over the place.
Yeah. The gun's just so light, your crosshairs are just floating all over the target.
Absolutely. If I've got some heft there, it calms that down quite a lot, at least for me, anyways.
I just start to do this.
Yeah.
Well, hold it up.
You know what my shoulders are like. They're does the same damn.
I would have totally thought you'd want a lighter gun.
No, I still can't do it.
But let's be honest though. If you are hunting, like this is a dream to walk around in the bush with.
Sure, yeah.
And as somebody who really enjoys shooting semi-autos, like it's super, like it feels like a bolt action semi-auto.
Right. Yeah.
That I know that doesn't make sense. I'm trying not to say the word that shall not be named, the model of rifle that we're not allowed to say, because I don't want my bolt action to get banned. But you guys understand what I'm saying when I say that.
We do.
Like yes.
I'm sure everyone in the audience does as well.
Exactly. Hopefully not everyone RCMP.
Right.
I'm a responsible gun owner. But anyway, like I took this out last year hunting and with the factory barrel, and I loved it.
Right.
And I know I'm going to love it this year.
What kind of weight difference is there between
it's only I added 2 inches to the barrel and I lost a couple of ounces of weight. So I lost, and the big thing was that it's balanced better because it was front heavy before. So me with my broken ass wrists, it was hard to just hold like this. But like I can manipulate it one handed now, like no problem. It's not front heavy at all. It's I don't know exactly where the balance, so a little bit ahead of that. But anyway, it's quite a bit better balance, and it's just a dream to carry around. I just love it.
Does that thing come in 223 as well, or 556?
No, it only comes in 6.5 Creedmoor and 308 for now.
Oh, is that right?
And they say it comes in 277 Fury, but I've never seen anyone in the US or otherwise that has one.
Yeah,
interesting.
So,
all right.
And I actually, I know we're not. I'm kind of hijacking things, but
turn into a Sig Cross show here.
I promise we'll get off of it in a moment here. When I put this IBI on it, I was thinking about it afterwards because we had that overpressured round go off in it. And I was thinking, like, if this was the factory barrel, I wouldn't have even thought twice about it because the chamber is designed to handle the heavier pressures of their hybrid rounds. So I messaged IBI.
That would only be in a 277 though. That wouldn't be in their 308.
Well,
there'd be nothing actually, like to handle.
It's all of them because they have designs on making 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor hybrid rounds.
Oh, okay.
They just haven't done it yet.
Okay.
But they've announced them. Like there's been several shows I've seen that they've announced. In fact, their website even has the 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor hybrid rounds on their website, or at least they used to. Anyway, so I called IBI and I was like, hey, like, just out of curiosity here, you know, if they ever do make these 308
so
hybrid
hypothetically
rounds,
say this guy did this.
Oh no, I didn't even get into that. No, I wasn't even doing that. I'm asking for a friend. I just pretended I was interested in the hybrid rounds. Okay. I said, like, would they be able to handle, or this barrel be able to handle the higher pressures of the hybrid rounds? And they didn't come flat out and say it, but their response kind of made me think like we haven't tested the chamber pressures that will make this gun blow up, but we're like, it's well above what the hybrid rounds are supposed to be putting out per pressure. Right. So if it'll handle the hybrid rounds, then I'm not worried about it. But
yeah,
anyway,
that comes down to more like bolt and receiver design and lug engagement and thickness of the receiver and all that kind of stuff. Probably that barrel
makes sense.
That barrel, you'd take a lot to really compromise it. I think
that makes sense.
I don't know.
Makes sense.
Whether or not it did, there it is.
I should see if the indexing pin is still in good shape.
Yeah. Anyway,
when we were swapping the barrel out, Alex, Rooster snapped the indexing pin off of the
receiver.
Yeah, not the receiver, the barrel extension.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's a self-indexing barrel like an AR style, but
yeah. Well, having the strength of 10 ordinary men has its drawbacks.
It's a double-edged sword.
That's it.
That pin wasn't meant to be.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah, it shouldn't have been in there in the first place.
I mean, it was going to break sooner or later anyway.
I saved you
clearly.
a lot of trouble. Yes.
Well, and having replaced it with a much stronger tool steel indexing pin is probably why it didn't break when I fired the overpressured round. So I just like to take this opportunity on the pre-recorded air live to thank you, Kurt, for your contribution to the safety of my rifle.
Oh goodness.
Anyway, I said we could stop talking about my SIG, and then I got us to continue talking about it.
34 minutes later.
Yeah. I want to. You asked us, Alex, what what our favorite videos were. I want to know, what is the favorite A, rifle that you've reviewed, and B, what is your favorite optic you've reviewed?
Okay, so for rifle, people say I'm a Tika shill, but a Tika actually doesn't even answer my emails. I'm so low on their like higher or like priority list.
Oh no.
But it's Tika. I mean, I haven't had. I've owned about 6 Tikas, and all of them have shot half MOA. Like
Yeah.
every one of them. I mean, there's a lot of other good brands out there, but I've only usually owned one of each, and I have a lot of them. But like, I don't know. I feel like Tika's quality control is comparable to none, and I'd say probably Tika.
Do you have a favorite T3X model? Sorry, Kurt.
That's okay.
I'm assuming the T3X is probably your favorite, but I mean, like within that.
I don't even shoot my T3X anymore. It's a Save Queen. I'm shooting most of the time either my custom rifle or my Tika to UPR. It's basically the T3X action with a not a Cerakote, but I think a Teflon coating on the bolt just to make it like go even smoother than it was before. But that one, I did the entire load development. In every load, I go in 0.3 increments.
Mm-hmm.
Every load was with under an inch. Every load. So
which cartridge is that?
It's the greatest cartridge.
308.
No, that is the greatest cartridge of the 50s. 6.5 Creedmoor.
He clearly hasn't heard of the 6.5 Rooster, Kris.
Well,
and it's okay.
You know, it's entirely possible that he's saying this because he has heard of the 6.5 Rooster.
Maybe.
Actually, I have not heard of the 6.5 Rooster.
Well,
where does it compared to the 6 Grendel to the 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.5 Grendel?
Well,
larger case capacity than both.
Yes.
So PRC.
Well,
less than PRC.
It is, yeah. So when I developed mine, it was before 6.5 PRC was a thing, and aside from the larger bolt face diameter, it checked all the boxes, and I would have saved myself a bunch of time.
So you actually made a cartridge? You actually made a cartridge? Oh wow!
Yeah, what I did was I shortened up a 6.5 284 case, 300 thou to fit, and it's almost, to look at them side by side, 6.5 Creedmoor and the 6.5 Rooster. The 6.5 Rooster is about 40 thou longer, but they look almost identical, except for mine's fatter. Now, the drawback to that, like larger diameter, and it's improved and everything, 35-degree shoulder. I get 2,980 feet per second with a 142 Match King.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it does really well that way. But the drawback with a repeating rifle is that, you know, and I came to learn, and I knew it was a drawback, but when you're playing the PRS games under time, it becomes an issue because every stage there's at least one mag change, because I can only fit 8 or 9 rounds into that mag, where a Creedmoor or anything like that with that body diameter will fit 10 rounds or 12 rounds, you know, depending on the mag you have. So I was doing a mag change every damn stage, and it hurts. So,
and usually after you realized that you were out of ammunition and had closed your bolt, and sometimes had got a click.
Well, yeah, I think it only happened twice in that match. I think
that was enough for me.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed.
Yeah, that was enough for me. Rooster, your cartridge sucks. But yeah, it's kind of a neat idea. Lots of work. I used to be a machinist, so I like that really fine detail with all the reaming and the neck turning and all that kind of business, and the whole case forming thing. I enjoy that. It is a lot of work. There's probably close to per case. There's probably close to a minute worth of time on every single case, just for prep, just to get it to a firing condition, I guess. So you think about that over a couple of hundred cases, a minute each, just for prep. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So, but it does spank a Creedmoor. And that was really my goal.
Well, I mean, the thing with the Creedmoor and the PRC is, if you just have a little bit longer barrel on the Creedmoor, you're doing statistically what a PRC should be able to do. Like I have the Savage 110
Very
Precision
close.
with a 26-inch barrel, and with the Seiko TRGs, I think I'm doing 2,860 feet per second.
Right.
With Creedmoor. So, I mean, if I were to get a PRC, well, I'd expect that and maybe a little bit better, but what is that going to get me at 900 meters? It's going to get me a half mil up? It's going to be a little bit better?
Exactly, yeah. So the next match that I went to, I ran my 6.5 by 47 and was honestly just as happy. There, I think I dropped a few just the longer shots, smaller targets, just because of the speed that I was getting with the 6.5 by 47 versus the Rooster. It was definitely an advantage to the Rooster that way, but no matter. And recoil management is a lot better with the 6.5 by 47. It does come into play. That's why you see so many guys going to the 6s now, right?
Yeah.
And I always used to think, come on, just manage your recoil better. Quit being a pussy. And well, here I am.
So when can we expect the 6 mil Rooster then?
Oh no, the 257 Rooster is where it's going next.
The 257.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Where I can still only feed 8 rounds from a mag.
Yeah, you got to figure that one out. I mean, you're the former machinist who's worried about magazine capacity.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't have the tools to remedy that anymore. So
I'm sure you know someone who does.
Yeah, probably. But
or you can make it so your rifle takes the manga mag.
Try that again.
It's a hard word to say. Manga mags.
Well,
manga mags. I'm looking that up right now. Manga mag.
Mamba. It might be Mamba.
Mamba?
It's got to be Mamba because manga is like Japanese, I don't know, porn cartoons.
Does that make America not great again?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Mamba mag.
Mamba mag. There we go.
Oh. I've
So,
never heard of such a thing.
And basically, I got one for my Remington 783. Basically, as opposed to being stuck with the crappy little magazines that come with your Remington 783, Savage Axis, as opposed to switching to a chassis, and then you could take the ICS. This way, you could just buy a Mamba mag, chuck it in there, and now you have a full. I think it's a 10 round. I think it's a 10 rounder. Yeah, I think it's 10. But anyway, you could. Yeah, it's 10 round magazines.
Son of a bitch! 6.5 Rooster's back in the game.
The cartridge isn't dead. You just got to buy one of these. They're only $139.95.
Right about now, I think that Shane Mansour is right. Saying like, "God damn it," because I think he really doesn't like your
Shane
muzzle
has
brake.
a migraine now.
Yeah. He really does not like your pinned on muzzle brake.
Oh, I know. That's another. Well, it's kind of it's an all around. Forgive the way I'm going to explain this, but it's an abortion gun.
Oh God!
I have no idea what that means.
What does that even mean?
Kind of a black sheep gun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the A word you were looking for was abomination, isn't it?
Well,
yeah, it's more.
depends
Yeah.
on what part of the country you're from, really.
That's true. Yeah, if you're from the deep south, then that's, what you were saying was accurate.
It's an abortion of a thing. Have you never heard that?
No, I actually do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
I
you
do
go.
recall that as a thing.
Can you imagine? That's kind of a sensitive word to say anymore. Like, how fucking ridiculous is that?
Well, so's abomination.
Is it?
No,
Okay.
not really.
No.
Yeah, 6'5" Rooster is a very sensitive word.
It is in Alberta. It seems, yes.
Okay, so I want to ask you another question, and I want to ask you about SHOT Show, but before I do, we didn't have you answer the second part of the first question, which was what has been your favorite optic to review on the show so far?
Okay, well, favorite optic to review or favorite optic?
Oh, let's answer both.
Ooh, yeah, let's get into both of them.
I guess generally optics are, for review purposes, are pretty much a straightforward formula. I review them on glass quality, tracking ability, and generally for the review, they're all easy enough to review, unless there's issues. For example, some that don't track or track like 30% over what they should. But generally, I wouldn't say I have a preference to review one. I have preferred optics, but like it's kind of like doing the same job on a different thing. They're basically all the same for review purposes, just the outcomes are different.
Yeah,
Right.
the process is always the same.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite optic ever?
Oh, I think it might be my most expensive one, which is the US Optics FDN25X.
Okay. I'm actually not familiar with that.
Yeah, it's an expensive one.
Are we talking like Night Force expensive, like Schmidt and Bender kind of territory, or?
It's just over 4,000 Canadian.
Okay.
So it's up there.
It's in that Razor HD Gen 3 area.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's nice in terms of glass. The turrets, they're nice, but they're huge. I think they have 15 mils per revolution, which is quite uncommon for almost any optic. And additionally, they got something else that I haven't seen on any optics. So they did something really, I'd say, weird. Most optics, like, you got 30 mils, that's it, that's all, you're good to go. What they did is they're like, you got 70 MOA, or whatever that is in mils. I think 24, 25 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But you have this little secret screw that if you turn the screw, it'll also move your reticle. So you have I think there's 10 mils, 5 or 10 mils that's hidden within that screw. So when you're zeroing it, you bring that screw as close as you can to your anyway, that's something that's pretty neat on it. Other than that, the optics that I own, I'd say maybe the Tract, the 4.5 to 30 by 56.
I wondered about that. I'd seen that advertised in a magazine, I think, quite some time ago, those Tracts, but I never heard of them otherwise. And they're all right?
Oh, yeah, they're really nice. They're made in Japan, like most nice optics.
Right.
Like once you know which OEMs are making it, it's pretty. It gives you a good idea of what quality you can expect. And I think they're about 2,000, maybe just over 2,000 Canadian.
Okay.
Or maybe a bit more than that. And they're really nice. Like everything, the fit and finish on this is beautiful, really, really nice. Tract's great. The glass is also amazing. There's a lot of really, really good options around. I'd say $2,000.
Man, there's getting to be more and more, aren't there?
Well, the optics industry it's kind of like the Wild West right now. We've seen so many companies just come out of the blue. For example, you guys mentioned Arkin earlier.
Yeah.
They didn't exist, I think, 4 years ago.
Okay.
I think they basically came out sometime in 2018, because I went to go see them at SHOT Show in 2019. So I think they were out just that year. And I mean, yeah, they just came into the industry and basically dominated all the sub 1,000 market.
Is that right? And where are they made? Do you know?
They're made in China. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're made in China. But I mean, China gets a really bad rap just because the crap comes from China. But you can also pay China to make you really good stuff, and it'll be
Mhm.
comparable to the Japanese, but it just has that stigma to it that people are like, oh, well, I don't want an optic that's made in China. Well, yeah, you can pay the same factory to like double, triple, quadruple the quality control, make sure everything is perfect. But that it's just you see so much coming out of China that's, you're returning constantly, and you're like, what the hell?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Athlon Optics, also Chinese. I think they opened a lot of people's eyes to what China's capable of. Other than what we what we all seem to know, that yes, you can get garbage from China, but like you
Well,
say,
that's the problem with China. You can get everything from China.
Yeah,
I mean, the reality is they're like the world's most powerful manufacturing hub.
Yes, sir.
Regardless of what you're talking about, it doesn't matter whether you're talking about electronics or textiles or optics or whatever.
Mhm.
They can make whatever the hell they want. They have the industry to do that.
Yeah,
It's a matter of what people want them to make.
right. Yeah,
Right.
And it's really a matter of you saying, well, I want this part made within this plus or minus specification,
Sure.
as opposed to that. And for them
Yes.
to do that, well, they're going to have to say, well, it's going to be this much more per part, and if you order this many thousand, so
Right, exactly. It's always just a dollars and cents. What do you want to spend? This is what we'll do for this much money.
right, right. So we have two sponsors that are scope sponsors. One being March, of course, back here, and the other Apex Optics. Have you had anything to do with either one of those?
yeah. So I've actually reviewed the Apex,
You have.
the pre-production model. I got a review done on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a really nice. I think it had just under 30 mils of internal adjustment.
Right.
This is supposed to have. Yeah.
It's another scope that has 15 mils per rev on the elevation turret, which is a nice feature, uncommon, like you say. Yeah.
I mean, the standard was always 10.
That's right. Yeah. I just got mine, and I haven't fielded it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It seems really nice so far. What about March? Have you ever had anything to do with them?
I mean, I've basically seen them at SHOT Show, but I've never worked with them in the past.
Yeah, that's right up there, top shelf, out of reach of a lot. It's not the Everman scope.
Yeah, they have some really interesting design features that I feel they go like outside of the norm that we're used to for optics. Like for optics, it's usually a tube within a tube, and the inner tube gets moved by a screw. Well, right, that's in a nutshell. And there's a spring pushing it back. Well, March, like further, I think it's their Genesis. They have like a giant frame. Like they're like, let's make this industrial and literally move a scope within this. And it's like,
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the really interesting thing about that is, because let's say you take a scope with 30 mils and you crank that thing to the max because you're doing extreme long range. Well, you're going to get some distortion at that bottom, no matter what.
Right.
Because the glass remains the same, but the tube inside is cranked one direction or the other. So you're getting some loss of clarity and some lack of sharpness. Whereas with them, they're like, no, the scope is just tilting inside.
That's it. Just one tube.
I mean, it's stupid simple, but hey, it seems to work. But they command a really, really high price point. That
I've got the Genesis on my ELR rifle. It's a 33XC, and man, is it nice to use! Holy crap!
Which model do you have of the Genesis?
It's the 6-60.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. And everything you could want in an ELR scope, I'm sure. Kris has a High Master. Yeah. On his 6.5 Creedmoor. So you're not the only guy here shooting a 6.5 Creedmoor.
Oh, and I shoot mine very well.
You too.
At least I look good while I'm doing it.
Well, I mean, okay.
That is the most important part with guns, isn't it? Is that you look good while you're shooting.
Don't bring that here.
I think it's important, man. I'm having a rifle built with EM Precision right now, and so
Good.
I'm going with the Pristine Action, a JC custom barrel, MDT ESS chassis, Cadex trigger, Cadex mounts, and an Apex optic actually.
Okay,
And I'm
good.
like, you know what? It's gonna look good just like that, but man, I want it to look amazing. So I'm actually EM Precision is going to be getting it basically painted. Oh, and it's coming with an EM Precision muzzle brake.
Okay.
Oh yeah. What color are you having it painted?
I'm going with a Canadian theme because this is going to be for one of my fully Canadian, fully custom rifle builds.
Okay.
I've already done one with the what's the company that International Barrels just pretty much grabbed?
Oh, yeah.
Ultimatum?
Ultimatum. Yeah. So
Yeah.
with the Ultimatum deadline action.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Very cool.
Have you had your hands on that Pristine Action yet?
Yes, I've had it. It is super smooth. It's just as smooth as it was at SHOT Show. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've seen one, and it's a hefty action, hey?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of material in that thing.
It's chunky. It's chunky, all right.
Yeah, for sure. You could run those hybrid rounds through that, Kris.
Yes. Yeah. You mean the ones that are still
I mean your
vaporware,
hybrid
like-
rounds, yeah.
Yeah, my hybrid rounds.
Your 200 grain.
I think that's the problem. I
at-
think I've got the powder load for the hybrid rounds,
Right.
but I need the steel case head. So,
97,000 psi.
yeah, somewhere around in there.
So when are you getting into reloading videos and reviews and stuff like that? I can see that
You've
you're-
already got
you're
a
into-
reloading video, like should you reload, right?
I think I did
seem
one of
to
those,
remember
but
seeing that some time ago.
I think I did one of those a while back. It didn't do very well in terms of numbers. And honestly,
Screw this, I'm going back to optics.
my experience in reloading is somewhat like I know a bit, but I'm still not the most versed. So
Oh,
that's not really where I think
yeah.
I'm best at. So
I
that's why
gotcha.
I'm not doing any and also reloading videos don't get monetized. So
Oh,
already YouTube, you can't be in it for the money. But even if your videos are monetized, there's not that much money coming in. Even with 30,000 subscribers, it's like I can't quit my day job.
Yeah. Christ. We're well, like I was saying before, we just pretty recently even started really doing YouTube content other than the live show. And I think we're knocking at the door of our 1,000 subscriber minimum to be able to monetize. I think we're at like 850, I think, or close to it as of today.
mhm.
But I'm starting to like wonder, like, okay, once we get that ability, what content are we going to create that's even
We'll get
able to
more
be
of a
monetized?
fucking carbon tax rebate than money from YouTube, for Christ's sake.
well, exactly, right?
Yeah.
But
Shit.
So yeah, like even my first year, there was like non-existent income. That and then the kind of content I was doing at the time really wasn't performing that well. Like I started off reviewing no-name brand optics, so red
Right.
dots and cheap Chinese scopes. That I mean, you might not be surprised. You guys probably might not be surprised, but like, let's say you buy a Remington 783, a Savage Axis, or any of those really entry-level rifles, and they come with a scope, right? And let's say you were look at the price of the rifle without the scope, like let's say at Cabela's or something, and the price difference is like $80 or $90.
Right.
Well, how much do you think that optic is actually worth? So they are actually still making a profit on it. You might think, well, at $90, they must be making no profit. Well, if you look at the specs and you go on like even eBay, you're going to see that same damn optic for about $20. At least this was about 4 years ago. So probably like $40 now. So it was like $20 back then. And I figured I could, demonstrate that in my videos. But the problem with the reviewing optics that have no brand is there's no searchability to it. Like you can't search for something without a name. So these videos did extremely poorly. And they kind of just died in the water. So that's when I started going, okay, you know what? I'm going to do brand name stuff and review things like that.
I was just kind of scrolling from the bottom up on your video page while you were talking about that, and you can see that you're right. You got all these like fake DI optical 6,000 views, e.g. Amazon rifle scope. Actually, that one did quite well, 45,000 views. But you got like fake Trijicon SRS, who's a 3-year-old video with 496 views, and then all of a sudden you go to Vortex Crossfire 2, just under 80,000. It's like in a sea all by itself amongst all of these no-name videos with a fraction of the viewership. So, I mean, it's pretty clear that you're right about that.
That was the first brand name optic. Well, I mean, there was Discovery before that, which is also a decent budget company. Yeah. But that was my first name brand company, and no, Vortex didn't provide it to me. It was a friend of mine owned it, and I'm like, I'll do a review on it and stuff. And it was basically my most popular video, getting all the views at the time.
So what, I've heard, I've tried to read and got bored. What criteria are you following to try and keep your videos monetized? Like what are the real no-nos in your experience that is getting stuff demonetized on YouTube now?
All you got to do.
How did he just get muted?
I have to believe he did that on purpose.
Touche.
I think it's YouTube. They just don't want they don't want everybody to know.
Yeah, I believe you.
Actually,
so moving on.
There's a trick. There's actually a trick to getting all of your videos monetized. And I'll tell you guys, I would have told you guys anyway, live or not, or I guess anyway. So the trick is, because these videos are manually reviewed. So when I upload a video, I upload about 5 different versions of the same video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they have a slight difference. One of them has 2 seconds of black screen. One of them has a half second of black screen. One of them has 3 seconds of black screen. Something they vary in that. YouTube will recognize a video is identical if it is identical in length and in content. But if you have a 0.5 seconds more, it's a different video.
Yeah, of course.
What I do is I have a really bad score rating with YouTube. When I upload a video, immediately they're like, this is probably bad. We're putting it limited monetization. You're probably not going to get any money.
I can just envision this room of fucking nerds talking exactly like that. No, I don't think so. No.
So I upload 5 of these, and I make sure I want them to be limited monetization to start with.
Okay.
And I'll give you guys more in detail once you hit over 1,000. We'll get everything going.
Right.
Okay.
But I put descriptions of videos that I know will make sure it's yellow, because when it starts yellow, you can request it to be reviewed. And if it's then green, as okay, they checked it out, they had a manual reviewer that says, you know what, it's actually okay. We're going to let it go fully monetized. Once they review it, they can never go back on it. But the ratio used to be, it has varied over the last 4 years. It used to be like, at one point it was like 1 in 10 that would go green, and the rest would be, no, we've confirmed this is trash. It's dangerous stuff, Right. Your rifle review, your scope review, it's dangerous. So at some points it was 1 out of 5. Some points it was 1 out of 4. Right now out of the last 4 or 5 videos that I've uploaded, they've all started as yellow. I've requested them to be reviewed, and all of them just went green the first time. So it's literally that simple. You just delete, re-upload, or you just upload 5 versions of the same thing, request them all to be reviewed, delete the ones that don't get approved. Done.
Isn't that interesting?
That's wild.
what a fucking world we live in.
It feels like begging.
It feels like Becky. I don't know, it seems like smarts to me.
Yeah, that's true. But
I
that's
mean-
It took me a while to figure that out, but when I did, I'm like, well, it's a numbers game.
Yeah,
Just throw shit at the wall, right?
isn't everything a numbers game? So essentially, you're just playing the odds that you're getting the one reviewer who's not a complete absolute
Yeah. Rain Man, bad.
Rain
Bad,
Man.
yeah. Yeah, bad.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep,
definitely.
it's-
Definitely demonetized. Definitely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
And now that we've had this conversation, we're never getting anything monetized.
that's right. We're flagged permanently.
We
We're
can
gonna have to
upload
change our name again.
25 of the same video. It's not happening.
I think where they probably actually assign you somebody is, let's say you're the size of like Demo Ranch or Hickok 45, is maybe when things start to change. But like
You
For the
get your
rest
own
of us?
censor nerd.
I think so, because I think they'll probably get more reviews, because I don't think any of his videos have ads for Demo Ranch. And I've even emailed him to say, hey, because I noticed like you click on the video, you get the video right away. He has his own annoying like 45-second plug-in for, hey, have you seen the alarm system that beats no
Exactly.
other? Oh
It
my
isn't
God.
even
It's like,
available in Canada.
like I'm tapping the screen like, come on, 45 seconds later. All right, we're good.
I actually, in some strange way, I actually prefer that to YouTube's ads.
Hmm.
I mean, I find it's because YouTube's ads is continuous gradual income, whereas
Yeah.
what he typically would do with them is like, all
I
right,
mean, as a
guys,
consumer.
what's that?
I mean, as a
Oh, okay,
consumer.
because then it's
Yeah.
something that's more relevant for our community. Yeah, that
Well,
does make
and
sense.
you're there to what, like, especially something like Demolition Ranch, right? So
Yeah.
you've basically got two types of YouTubers. You got YouTubers with personality, and you got YouTubers who are,
Yeah.
like, you might as well watch paint dry. And usually, like, you can tell in the first 5 seconds by how they say hello to their viewers,
Yeah.
but and basically, like, do they have inflection in their voice or not? Like,
Yeah.
hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new Shits 4 to 18, right? Or even just listening to you talk, you've got inflection in your voice. You're like, okay, this is going to be a good review. I can watch this. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
But
No, it's very true though.
sure, yeah. And then when you've got somebody who's a good personality, you're watching their channel as much for their personality as you are for their content.
Almost. Yep.
And I'd much rather listen to Matt Carricker wax on about his fucking alarm system for the 20th time than some of the shit that YouTube puts up there.
What
However,
about BattleBots? BattleBots.
or what's that something Siege, the mobile game? It's something
don't know.
Siege. It has the word siege in it. This is how much I actually pay attention. Anyway, but from a content creator standpoint, obviously, I mean, he's got multiple. Was he got like 7 or 8 million subscribers or more?
Yeah.
So he's able to attract those type of sponsors that he can do that sort of thing.
Mhm.
The rest of us plebs still rely on, or us not even yet, but
No.
would still rely on YouTube's way of doing things.
Right.
Well, I mean, we could still theoretically do it like him. We'd have to get in touch with those companies, say, hey, pay me a one-time fee. But the thing is, it's usually a one-time fee. It's not like, and it's hard to measure. Let's say I say, okay, guys, I'm going to promote Ballistically Speaking in my Savage Access video. I'm going to charge you this amount.
Mhm.
Well, the video could tank and it could only get like 10,000 views,
Sure.
or it could also do 100,000 views in like the next year, which is amazing, which is good.
Yeah.
Or it could do way more than that. So I mean, but there's obviously videos that like I know would do better, but still it's harder to measure the value, because if you're like, I just paid you this amount and you gave me 10,000 views. It's been a year and a half. The video is not gonna explode in the next month or in the next year. It's just
Right.
gonna keep floundering there at about 50 or 25 views a day.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah.
that's why that kind of way is, I feel it's harder to measure, which, yeah.
Yeah, they just need YouTube just needs to start doing more gun advertisements. That's all. I'm sure that'll happen.
Uh,
We should send them a letter.
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah, You
We'll
go
start a
ahead.
petition.
You go ahead and
That's
stroke
that. Those always work. Let's do that. But I mean, we're starting to wind down here. But I wanted to ask you first of all. It sucks that we hadn't met you back in January because we were both at
Shot Show.
Shot Show back in January, and you saw a lot of cool stuff that we didn't. That I wanted to ask you about some of them. Number one, we completely skipped the Apex or not Apex. It's what the hell's the name of that company? They make AR-15s.
Aero Precision.
Aero Precision. Oh my God. It's an orange A, and that's why it got me all screwed up. Yeah, Aero Precision. And they had come out with a bolt action that we didn't even know because we skipped them because AR-15s had recently been banned in the country. And that's what we thought about AR-15s. And of course, at SHOT Show, you really have to kind of pick and choose who you're going to see because you can't see everybody.
Yeah.
What did you think about that bolt action? Because I haven't heard anything about it since then either. I don't even know if it's in Canada or not.
So at SHOT Show, I've seen a lot. So one of the selling features, I think of that one was that I think it had a quick change barrel system, and they were saying it's coming in at a really reasonable price. Okay, I mean at SHOT Show, everything I do is just like, guys, promote your stuff. Here's the mic. There's no like, this isn't as smooth as you're saying, bud. Like they're saying it's a smooth action. I'm like, my Remington 700 SPS feels smoother than this, but okay. But then again, smoothness doesn't mean a whole lot, right? But like, and the prices they were saying for it, I'm like, I'm thinking you're saying this is like affordable, but I'm thinking not necessarily that as affordable as you think it is, because like I went to go see a bunch of other companies at SHOT Show, and a lot of them were offering these new rifles that had a quick change barrel system. Which one was it? Let me just go back to my SHOT Show. I have it in one of my playlists.
And I'm even trying to find out what Aero Precision even calls. It's called the Aero Precision bolt action.
It would be in my video. I don't know what it's called though.
Yeah, I don't want to watch it again while we're on air because then that'll all be completely boring. I'm already
Aero Precision. Actually, I didn't call it or anything in this. Let's see if I title it. The Seekins Precision. So there, I think the Havoc hit that like similar price point. There was not Fierce. Fierce didn't have a quick change barrel system. There was another company that did there though, which I do not have it here. And even the VOR HTI XPR, which isn't even available. So yet. So there's a good amount of options out at SHOT Show. And they were more expensive in their thing. And I was like, well, I mean, I don't know if it's that much of a high value as they're saying, but, time is yet to tell.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like it's really become a production thing, has it?
The which one?
The Aero specifically. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the time, they usually get their prototypes made and like, let's see how much people like this and how many orders we get. And if we don't get enough orders, drop it.
Yeah, you got to wonder if it's been dropped.
Yeah.
Well, there's I see the Seekins. I never saw the Seekins video before. I'm going to have to rewatch that. Now you got to go out to their media day, hey?
So day one, yes, is media day where you actually get to try the rifles.
Yeah.
I don't believe I shot the Seekins Precision. No, I did not. I got to try the Unitop Precision.
You did get to shoot the Bushmaster bolt action though, right?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think of that?
It's interesting, but I don't know. It wasn't necessarily for me. It's a cool design.
The reason I'm asking you this is that there's, at least back in January, there seemed to be this, Sega just came out with the Cross, and then everybody's talking about these lighter bolt actions. Then you had all these companies that are known for making semi-autos that were showing off bolt actions at SHOT Show. And it, fast forward 7 months, it doesn't seem like it's taking the world by storm. I just remember, everybody was talking about the future of the modern hunting rifle and all of this sort of stuff, and it just doesn't seem to have materialized very much.
Yeah, I think that's the case for a few things out there. And I mean, a lot of the companies there, I guess they're just hoping the orders kind of just flow in from these dealers, and they're not maybe focusing as much on marketing as they could. Like a lot of companies, like they don't try to work with content creators. Only, I guess, I don't think it's all that many of them actually do. Like you see companies that I think they kind of ignore the YouTube market, and they're like, oh, let's put it in Guns and Ammo, that magazine, your dad used to read, or
right.
That's where all the people are.
And I think they're undervaluing the spread, the viewership of YouTube, and I think this is the future of that kind of content. I mean, why read on the toilet when you can watch?
Yeah.
Hey, that is
true.
Very true. Yeah.
And I mean, people's breaks are usually under 15 minutes. So you get in first break, you got a good 12-minute video, you have time to be out and back at your post. I mean, it's perfect.
We've got this down to a science.
Well, the average video, I mean, most of mine, well, actually, my rifle reviews usually end up being 15 to almost 20 sometimes. But I tried to keep it as close to 12 minutes as I can. Mm-hmm. Just to fit it, so Rooster can watch my full videos when he's on his bathroom.
Excellent. Just close my office door for. Just give me 15 minutes.
I need no. You need 12 minutes and 36 seconds.
Right? No, but I'm taking the full 15. Thank you.
Oh, I understand. Yeah. Well, you got to make sure you're wiping properly. That's a 2.5 minute process. I don't know. I'm sure everybody understands this. It's not very easy to hold a phone in one hand and then reach behind you with the other hand.
Okay. All right. I don't know how many of us actually, went there with our.
No bullshit. I just touched a nerve. I like everybody's like, I don't want to admit it, but yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
He's dead on.
Anyway, we're coming down to the wire. You're going to TACOM, right?
I've signed up for the media thing. I'm still waiting to hear back from them, but I went back in 2019. I went there in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. I hope you do go. I'll see you there.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe we'll meet face to face and COVID fist bump or something, or elbow bump or whatever.
Oh Jesus.
Sure.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, what I said. Yeah. I apologize for mentioning COVID. We can move on from that.
Please.
I think this year there's probably going to be a lot more interesting things at SHOT Show. I mean, there's BCL. They have, I think they might have a new rifle coming out. Actually,
sure, TACOM.
Yeah, TACOM. Sorry, I meant TACOM. But they have their TRG rifle that should be coming out at some point. I'm wondering if they're maybe waiting to launch it at TACOM.
Oh, good question. Yeah.
And Apex, I hear, is going to be there.
Yeah.
Wondering who else. I wonder if KDEX is going to make it out with their 7 Stars rifle, which I haven't seen them come out to to market just yet. But yeah.
Well, I can't imagine KDEX wouldn't be, whether they have the 7 Stars rifle, but why wouldn't KDEX be there?
Were they there in 2019 though?
I don't know. I wasn't there in 2019, so I couldn't say. But
yeah.
But I mean, is there a reason for a Canadian manufacturer like KDEX to not be there?
I don't know. No, I don't think there's a reason for them not to.
Yeah. You hear that, KDEX? We expect to see you there. Because, God damn it.
Yeah.
What else?
What he said.
What he said. Well, hey, you've got a great channel, and I really enjoy watching your channel. You're obviously you know what you're talking about, and you got that's a leg up on the sort of content that we create right there, and so I'm kind of I'm excited to hopefully meet you at TACOM in September, and I'm excited to continue watching your channel and see what you come out with next.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Is there anything that you would like people to know about your? Obviously, it's Affordable Optics on YouTube. If people haven't figured that out now, then
yeah, actually, there is going to be a name change at some point.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I hear it's a trending thing, changing names. So I
Well,
want to
we do know a little something about it.
Yeah,
I feel like you guys should start with like, Ballistically Speaking, formerly known as
No.
the First Local Plane Podcast,
we
formerly
probably
known
should.
as.
There's a lot of things that we should do.
That's right.
You know, not the least of which is production value,
But actually, I am going to be changing the names from Affordable Optic to Epic Arms.
Okay.
EPIK, because EPIC was obviously taken, but Epic Arms.
oh, it's passe anyways.
But mostly it's not for the viewers. So the viewers typically, I don't think it's going to affect viewership or subscribership. It's for companies. So whenever I reach out to a company and then they see Affordable Optics, they're like, oh,
Right.
well, you're
I don't know if
affordable.
we fit your demographic. Yeah.
It's
Yeah. And
self-limiting.
so at SHOT Show, like, I mean, there was like, I felt a lot of the companies actually knew who I was. And when I showed up to their booth, they're like, well, once I introduced myself, they're like, I think I know who you are. Actually, Browning knew who I was when yeah, because I did a review on the rifle. I mean, the rifle shot well, but it had a few issues. And he's like, yeah, you said this about it. And I'm like, well, yeah, it did
I'll
that.
fix your shit then.
You wonder if
That's
you're
awesome.
about to get slapped in the mouth or not.
Well, I felt it was a good criticism. I don't feel like it was a roast, but anyway,
Yeah.
he knew who I was from that video. I'm like, oh, this is good. And that video didn't blow. It didn't do like 100,000 views. I think it got like 50. So the odds were modest that they would know. So,
Right.
but yeah, it's more for companies just because like they're going to be like, oh, affordable. Well, we don't have things that are $10 and $12 right now. Okay, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
bye-bye
like,
then.
Right.
Yeah. So
now
that kind of
they're going to be like, oh, well, we're kind of epic, and then they'll work with you.
oh, that's a good pitch. Do you want to be epic?
Yeah. Well, exactly. I assumed you had that figured out already.
No, I didn't think beyond the website. I bought the website, and that's as far as I got.
Oh man, yeah, 100%. You need a good tagline.
Mm.
And do you want to be epic is much better than get your weekly dose of BS.
Whoa. Come on, Kris. We came up with that on our own.
Oh, that's true, but that's also why it's probably not the best. Well, you want to talk about self-limiting, hey? Hey, you want to come on our show? Well, cool. What's your show about? Well, our
Right.
tagline is "Get your weekly dose of BS." Oh yeah, sure. I totally want to be involved with that.
Yeah.
I'll do that right after I go on.
seriously at all.
I send out a scope to that Affordable Optics guy.
Yeah. I plan on going nowhere with my business. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it just goes to show you that the name does matter. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, most scope companies will work with me, or they've heard of me by now. The only scope company that doesn't want to work with me is Vortex Canada.
No.
Really?
Really?
Vortex
Why?
USA, they love me. Vortex Canada, they're like, we looked at your shit. It was shit.
I'm sorry. I do not want to be on your channel.
Yeah.
I was like,
No.
no. So the funny thing is, so like Vortex USA, like I would hop the border, get my scopes, come back, and I'd have to return them. It was not a sponsor type thing. This was like, yeah, we lend them to you, give them back.
Yeah.
And that was convenient. I could do my videos and whatever, and that's fine. But then when COVID happened, like they closed the border, and I'm like, all right, I gotta reach out to Vortex Canada.
Yeah.
And I had re-uploaded that really old Vortex Crossfire video because that one is the one you saw is limited monetization. So it makes zero sense.
Yeah.
And when they looked at my channel to like evaluate me, like as like, do we bother with this guy or is he a joker? They looked at that video, which is the most recent upload, and I'm like, and they said we had one of our senior guys look at it, and you said this wrong, that wrong, this wrong, that wrong. They said like you said it was 100 meters the focus parallax is corrected to when it's 100 yards, and I'm like, man, is that really?
Holy
But anyway,
crap.
Their I guess like criteria is more like stringent than the U.S. version,
Wow.
but yeah,
Interesting.
so.
That's too bad.
Yeah,
Should we call them out right now? I think we should call them
Yeah.
out.
I think so.
Okay,
I wonder
Vortex
if the
Canada.
management
Hang
has changed.
on.
I'm
Here
gonna-
we go. Here we go.
I'm
Listen,
gonna dial him up right now.
you fuckers smarten up and fly right, and you give Alex some scopes. You hear? Otherwise,
Yeah, stop hurting my feelings.
Otherwise, I'm going to shake my finger at you some more.
I mean, they weren't wrong in their assessment of that video. That was a shitty video. I responded. I'm like, hey, that was an old, crappy video. This is my new work. This is what I am now. And they're like, listen, we've already spent too much time on you. Thank you. Thank you.
We gave you our 3 minutes. That's all you're getting. Wow. So are you still able? No, everything's obviously opening up a little bit more. Are you still able to work with Vortex America?
Actually, a lot of the time, the way it works for performance for YouTube is if something comes out, you got to get it now and get the video done now. If you are the last one in to get a video done, it's kind of worthless. Like the Vortex Strike Eagle video that I've done, that was the one that I reached out to Vortex, said, hey, can you send me one for review? And that's that. They looked at the crossfire, blah, 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 etc. And they're like, no. So I'm like, okay, to hell with it. I just bought it. And I did a review on it within about 3 weeks. That video has about almost 200 plus thousand views because I was the first one in.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Wow.
So sometimes it's better just to go out and buy it then.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, optics don't really lose their value unless they're really terrible. But I actually still have that one. But I could resell it for maybe like 10% less than what I paid. And it's already paid for itself. So.
Yeah, for sure. Just for the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Nutty. Well, it's been really nice getting some insight into the pew tubing. I don't think I want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it to you.
We'll just shovel off all our stuff to him.
Yeah, exactly. Alex, any last words?
Nope, that's all. Thank you very much.
I could have worded that differently, but I chose not to. Well, if that's gonna do it for us then, folks. Please check out the show at facebook.com/BS podcast. Do you have a Facebook page, Alex?
I do. It's Affordable Optics and Rifle Reviews.
So facebook.com/affordable optics and rifle reviews.
Or you just put it in the search bar.
Just put it in the search bar. You'll go there.
Yes, folks, it's that easy.
It's that easy. Yep. Make sure you leave us a review, leave him a review, positive reviews only. If you leave a don't recommend, well, then you can go to hell. And make sure you like their Alex's page. If you don't already, make sure you like his YouTube page, Affordable Optics. I think it's just called, it's Affordable Optics and Rifle Reviews on YouTube as well. And your webpage is?
It's not up. It's still in the building process.
Okay, so once the name change happens, then it'll go on. Fantastic. Folks, if you'd like to email us at info@bspodcast.ca. And we'd like to again give a massive thank you to all of our sponsors. Without you guys, we'd just be two morons chatting to each other through Zoom. So we'd like to thank Shane and Steve with EM Precision, Miles, Carey, and Cappy with call sign 66, Duncan and Rob at Bolt Action Coffee, Phil Odell at Odell Engineering. Imagine that. How'd that happen? Doug and Nisa with March Scopes, Vanya and Carly with Apex Optics, and Oscar with Ribstone Gunsmithing. Thank you all a measurable amount. And thank you to all of the folks who waste their time watching us and listening to us every week. We very much appreciate you all. And I guess we'll see you all. Next week is going to be an interesting one.
Oh boy.
Because I think we're going to have a guest host next week, aren't we, Kurt?
I think so.
Because I'm not going to be here.
We've thrown this around, but I don't think we've come to a final decision.
Yeah, well, we're going to do something for next week anyway.
Yeah.
So stay tuned so that you can get the whatever it's going to be. We're going to have a show
for all of us.
We'll have a show. I can tell you that. We'll see you all next week. Take it easy.
This right here has the ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
You're listening to your weekly dose of BS. Ballistically speaking. The Ballistically Speaking Podcast.